Hey everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds, and today we are here with haul number 31, and there's some great stuff. I will get to that really soon, but before that, just a couple of quick announcements. Number one, I am back with live shows. So I actually have 2 live shows scheduled this week. We have a show on the first day of summer, Thursday, the 20th of June, 2024. And the show will be called Summer 11, and it's all about hearts. So each piece is either a heart or has a heart in it or a heart on it. You've already seen some of the pieces that will be featured in that show, and today I'm going to show you a few more. So that's Thursday night, 8 o'clock. It's going to be awesome. I've started adding the things on Knick-Knack for pre-bids. I'm hoping to have everything loaded by Tuesday night, which is 2 days before the show. I'm hoping. And then my second show that I have coming up is part of the Color Carnival Train, which I've mentioned before, and that is going to be on the 22nd of June, which is Saturday night. And I think my spot is at 8:30 for that one, I think. Pretty sure. And that one's going to be really special. I have a piece that's going to be featured in that I'm going to show you today. And then what I'm doing is rainbow, so it's all about color. So some of the carnival glass pieces that I've found will be in that. I'm doing like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then a couple pieces, at least one piece, possibly more pieces that have like the whole rainbow in them. I'm really excited about that show. So that one is going to be Saturday night. It's going to be a fast one. It's going to be only 30 minutes. My Thursday night show hopefully will be an hour. And then we'll see after that. But anyway, 2 shows coming up. Please mark your calendars. Thursday night. I will be simulcasting them on Facebook and here on YouTube. So you can watch from there, but you can't participate. So if you want to, like, you can chat, we'll see the chat, but you won't be able to see the chats that everybody responds to your chat, if that makes sense, because the Knick-Knacks chat doesn't project back out. So you can, like when you're in Knick-Knacks, you can see the chat from YouTube and Facebook, but when you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can't see the chat from Knick-Knacks. So the solution to that is join us on knickknacks.net. It is the Summer 11, the one for Thursday will be the Summer 11 show, and the one at 8 o'clock, and then the one 8 o'clock Eastern, sorry. And the one on Saturday will be the Color Carnival, which will be a train, and my stop in the station, I think, is at 8:30. Anyway, that's exciting. So let's do a quick what sold. I think I skipped that last week by mistake. These are just a couple things that sold in the past week. On eBay, I sold this hippo. I had purchased it for, it's a Metropolitan Museum of Art, William the Hippo. I had purchased it for $5.24 and it sold for $39. And then I had gotten these brass candlesticks and, not candlesticks, napkin holders. And if you remember, I totally messed up. I was trying to clean the box and I used a hairdryer. I was trying to fix some things. And it basically melted. So the brass napkin holders are fine, but the box is a little messed up. So anyway, I bought it for $6.99. It sold for $18.99. So those were the 2 sales. I had another sale this morning, which I will talk about next week. But let's get into the haul. I've made you wait long enough. There is so many cool things. And I'm actually going to start with the one that I ended with last week, the little sneak peek that I gave you. All right, this is like the best thing ever. I have a Murano paperweight. Ignore the ring light reflection here. This is Fratelli Toso. It's still got its label. It's Murano, 100% Murano. It's got the different color canes in there. The Zanfrico is what they call when the canes are twisted like that. And some people have called these white ones Latticino to basically confer the milky white color. There's been some talk in different Murano groups about getting away from the Latticino name because it does refer mostly to like milk and lattes and things like that. And they're using the Zanfrico term to describe these twisted canes. So anyway, and then these guys are the Millefiori canes. There's 3 of them in this piece, a pink one and 2 different blue ones. The piece is amazing. It's like egg-shaped, so it's taller than it is wide. And beautiful clear base. You can see that. There's no scratches. I mean, the thing is just amazing. Now, I found this in an antique mall in Rhode Island. I did not know we had antique malls in Rhode Island. I grew up in Rhode Island. I was there through college, through the end of college before I moved south. Then I went to grad school in North Carolina, then grad school chapter 2 in Virginia, and here I stay in Virginia. Anyway, so this piece was on sale. It was in a case. The case was all 20% off. It was originally marked 50. It was marked down to 40. I think it's worth more than 40. So I bought it. I mean, you know, honestly, it's a piece I would keep for my personal collection. It fits in my collection perfectly. However, I know there's people out there that will appreciate this as well. And anyway, I am going to sell this, and this will be in the Color Carnival sale on Saturday. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. So the value, I really don't know. So there's listings all over the place. 75-ish, 85-ish, I think is a good place to start. They go up into the hundreds, and I just am not really sure, you know, what its worth will be to somebody. So anyway, I was so excited about that. For $40, I think it's totally worth that, and at least double that, maybe more. So that was my really exciting piece. And then the other really exciting piece to me, there's actually a couple more really exciting pieces, but I found this vase in that same mall. Okay, now I don't know if you can see the Sommerso technique at the bottom. Let me try to get my body out of the way a little bit so you can see that there's a yellow, there's a green, like a moss colored green, and then there's this like gold tone, and then there's clear glass around that. That technique is called Sommerso, and I actually wrote down something about that. Hang on a second. So basically it's just submerging. It's getting one color of glass and dipping it in another color and dipping it in another color without the colors bleeding into each other, having that nice clean margin. And this one, it's called a fishtail vase because that top is kind of like a fishtail. There was one version done by, I think it was Art, oh, I didn't write it down, in the 50s, but I put this into the Murano glass group, and they identified it as Formia from the 1980s. They said because of this colorway, it's a popular colorway from the 1980s from the Formia group in Murano. And Formia is one of the newer furnaces, I believe, in Murano. I mean, they were established in 1962. There's not a lot about them specifically that I could find, but I was really excited to find this vase. It was not identified as Murano in the antique mall. It was listed, or I bought it for $20, which I thought was amazing. The value is anywhere between $45 and $165. Most of the listeds right now are $125 to $160. So, you know, pretty exciting piece. And I do want to go back to this one for 1 second. I want to go back and talk about Fratelli Toso, the manufacturer, the furnace in Italy that made this. One of the things Fratelli Toso is very much known for, and they are one of the older furnaces back from like 1860 something ish. I think they're still in operation. And it's a multi-generational, like the family, different generations of the family have continued the operation. But these Millefiori canes, Fratelli Toso is very well known for their Millefiori canes. And, you know, I love the fact that, you know, there's many pieces out there that you can find that are just the swirl. But I haven't seen a ton, I personally haven't seen a ton that have these millefiori canes added in on top of the swirl. So I just think that's such a cool piece. But anyway, moving on. So another piece that I found in that antique mall is more current. And I'm just gonna get rid of some of these extra pages that I wrote that we're not gonna go into. Okay, so one of the more recent pieces. What's fun about this is Mad Art Studio. They're based, I think, San Diego, California. Did I write about Mad Eye Glass? I might have on one of those pages I just dropped to the ground. Anyway, Mad Eye Studios, I think they're in San Diego. It's a husband and wife, and they, Mad Art Studio, I don't know what I just said, but Mad Art. And this is daisies or other white flowers with green stems, and this one is dichroic. You can see it just has some glitter and sparkle in it. And then underneath it, I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at the, well, I can't really see it from the back. There's like a blue swirl in the glass. And so when you look down into it, it's got depth, and that's just really cool. So I have admired this artist's pieces at a lot of galleries, and most galleries are selling them around $62 now. I just saw some when we were up in Maine, and I almost bought one for $62. Then I found this for less than that. So this was $25 in the antique mall, and the resale on it may be $45 to $48-ish, just depending, but it's in perfect condition. It is a contemporary piece. It is not vintage. These are pieces that are being created now in their studio, and they're under, if you go to their website, Mad Art, I don't know if it's Mad Art Glass or Mad Art Studios, they have a section that's called Floral Hearts, and that's what this is. They sell mostly wholesale to galleries right now. In fact, I think maybe only wholesale to galleries, but there's a few high-end galleries where you will find their work, and I was very lucky to find one, so I'm pretty excited about that. And, you know, obviously this is very different than shopping at a thrift store when you're going into an antique mall where the booths have been curated. There are people there like me who go out and find stuff in different places and then are reselling them through the antique mall. So the prices are going to be a little bit higher, but the quality of the glass or the quality of the items is generally really good. So the other piece I found, now this one I just thought was amazing, but it doesn't have a ton of resale value. So this is, you can see it's like a paperweight, and you can't really see through it. It is, oh my gosh, I wish you could see, I wish I could put a light. Let's see, I have my little black light, and that's not really gonna help a whole lot. But you can see through it. It's got like a mottled kind of look where it's purple, but it's very mottled. Like it's, you can, there's a lot going on. Maybe, oh, maybe you can see. Yeah, there you go, right? So it's a very interesting piece of glass. Now it is heart-shaped and it's got a stopper. Why does it have a stopper? It's actually a little mini perfume bottle. So inside it's got a hollow sphere, all right? I don't know if you can see in there. It's got a little hollow sphere that you can put perfume in or a liquid of your choice. And it's got this ground glass stopper. Okay, now it is signed. I'm going to turn this back over. It's got a beautiful ground bottom, and it is signed OBG 1992. OBG stands for Ornamental Blown Glass, and they do not exist anymore. They were a company in Linwood, Washington State, and from what I can tell or what I see on the internet, it was a place where young artists would go to like perfect their skill and kind of move up in the ranks. So the individual artists didn't sign their pieces individually. So I mean, it could be by any of the famous glass artists that we know today, but it's just signed for OBG for ornamental blown glass. So I don't know who made it. There are a bunch of them on the internet. The solds on Worth Point are only $25 to $59. There's one currently listed on eBay at $91. I paid $24 for it. I personally think this is worth at least $48. I think it's a beautiful piece of glass. There's no bubbles in it. It's like it's just a beautiful piece of glass, and the stopper is amazing. So I think there's some value in it, even though right now I'm not seeing that with the solds. But I'm still really happy I bought it. So that one will be in our heart show, as will this one. So those will be in the heart show that I've got coming up on Thursday night. The other thing, I think I found two more things at that antique mall. I found this bird. I have not yet identified it. I do believe it to be neodymium, even though the color shift is weird. So most neodymium glass, when you find it or when you see it, it's a purple in regular light. And when you put it under fluorescent light, it turns blue. This one, under regular light, is actually a pinkish purple. You know, and actually what's funny is, oh, that's really interesting. Well, you're seeing the color shift right here, probably from my ring light, which is weird. You see how parts of it, like if I hold it in certain ways, it looks like bright pink. And then over here, it's like this dark purple. So that's the color shift that I'm seeing with this one. In certain light, it is a bright pink, and in other light, it's a dark purple. I'm not seeing it go all the way to blue, but it definitely color shifts, and it's really cool. There's no markings on this, no signatures. I need to do some research on it. I haven't had time yet, but I loved him, and he was only $15. I think he's probably worth somewhere in the 25. God, that's so cool. You can see both colors if I hold it right here. If it's 25, but it's one solid color bird. So weird. Anyway, 25 to 40 on this guy value. So probably double what I paid for it-ish. And I think that's probably the same with all of these higher end pieces that I picked up in the antique mall. And the last piece I picked up is so me. I'm so tempted to keep it because it's so me. There's this piece. It is a perfume bottle with a beautiful stopper, ground glass. You can see that it's ground at the top. Absolutely gorgeous piece. You can see that it's set in the, you can get the clear glass at the bottom, and it is signed. Let's see if we can find the signature. Yeah, it's going to be hard for y'all to see. It's right around the pontil here. It is signed Belleau, B-E-L-L-E-A-U, and it turns out it is made by a gentleman named Christopher Belleau, or I'm not sure if that's quite how you pronounce it. Belleau or Belleau. It's this confetti kind of glass. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. Anyway, I paid $35 for it. There's one that sold for $98. There's one that's listed for $97 that has the same kind of design. There's others of his that have sold for less that have like a stringery swirl in a single color. So Christopher Belleau is actually based in Rhode Island, which surprised me. I think he was born in Wisconsin, but he's been a practicing artist in Rhode Island for at least 30 years. So I didn't know that. So I guess it's not a surprise that I found his work in a Rhode Island antique mall. Yeah, I love this piece. I may decide to let it go in my rainbow show. I don't know yet. I love it, and I actually personally love it more than my little Murano egg. Like, I love it. So I don't know yet if I'm gonna let it go quite yet. But anyway, yeah, I bought that one. I think I said 35. It's worth more than that, 98-ish. So those were the pieces that I'm most excited for from like all my finds ever. I paid up for all of them at an antique mall, but the quality of the glass is just really quite something. So the rest of the things from my, my haul are not going to be at that level. They are from thrift stores, and some of them were hits and some of them were big misses. And we'll talk about those. So let's try to get going through them. First miss of the week. This is a stained glass snowman, which I was kind of excited about. I can't find my receipt, but I do see from my credit card receipt how much I paid in that store, and I know how much I paid for the other pieces. So I think I paid too much. I think I paid $4.50 for this, and I think he's worth about $4.50. Actually, $5 to $8 is what I have written down. I don't know how old he is. He will, I'm doing a Christmas in July sale at the end of July. It's also part of another knickknacks train. He will likely be in that, depending on what else I have that is holiday themed. But he will be one of the lower end pieces at that show. So he's cool. I was happy about him, but I think I paid too much for him. Okay, so another funny thing. Last week, I think I showed you a glass, banana, and a group of grapes, bunch of grapes. I also found a glass tomato. This was in Rhode Island at a thrift store, different thrift store than I found the banana and the grapes, which was interesting. I paid $3.90 for the glass tomato, and they sell 10 to 12. I think I was saying that last week, about 10 to 12 on the glass fruit. Another store up there, I found two things, and this is one that I should have left in the store. Not because it's bad. It's actually a really cute heart-shaped trinket dish, and I picked it up because I've got my heart show coming up. So I noticed that the thing here doesn't really latch very well. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's old. Maybe that's why it doesn't latch. When I got it under the light box, I realized it had been repaired. This whole section, this whole gold brass thing here appears to have been re-glued onto the base. You can see glue coming through right here. And if you look closely inside, I don't know how I missed this in the store, you can see there's a bunch of glue residue around the edges. So I believe this has been repaired. I believe it is worth not very much. So I paid $1.99 for it. I don't think I can sell it because of the repair. I think this will be a great yard sale item, and I would hope to get my $1.99 back, but may not. So that I should have left in the store for sure. The other piece I found, I'm still trying to get some information on. I haven't posted it anywhere yet. I love this. I thought it was studio pottery. I loved the lid. Like you can see, it is definitely hand thrown. It's got a cool applied ribbon lid, right? It's just really unique. I love the glaze on it. I thought it was really fun, especially how it's applied at the top. But because it's got no signatures or anything, I'm wondering if this is some sort of mass-produced piece. I'm not sure how. I mean, it definitely looks studio. I'm just really surprised that there's no signature. So I've got to do some more research. So far, I haven't found anything with a handle that looks like this. I paid $7.99 for it. I think it's probably worth $15 to $28, maybe a little more. If I can figure out who made it and it's an actual studio potter, it will be worth a little bit more. So there's that piece. Okay, then I came back to Virginia. And I went to a couple places, and we're going to do a little shift here because this next group of things is a little different. So I found, and this is probably my most exciting piece from this particular visit, I found 2 halves of a clamshell. And this is from the Jumbo Clam. They were priced separately, but together they were priced at $4.88. They fit together perfectly. So this is a matched pair. This is one shell. They were in slightly different places in the shelves and they had different stickers, but they are a clamshell. So these guys can be worth some money. Now this is not the biggest one ever. This is only, I think, 8 inches across. Let's see. Yeah, it's 8 inches. And the last one that sold for, that was 8 inches, sold for $40. Again, I paid $4.88. And they're really pretty. I mean, you could use them separately. You can display them together. It's just a really nice giant clam. So yeah, again, different than what I usually pick up, but I also have a rock collection and a little bit of a shell collection. So when I see something like this, I'm like, that's worth something. So I picked that up. The other one I found, actually I'm going to show you 3 things that are all similar. And this surprised me. This is an abalone shell, okay? This surprised me. I thought it would be worth a lot more. These are not worth a lot. And the other interesting thing about this one, it's got a little bit of a matte finish here. Like it's like a satin finish almost, yet the back is polished. It's got a gloss coat on the back. So I found that interesting. The abalone shell I paid $2.09 for. They only sell like this size around 12 to 18. Like it's not a ton. I thought because of the iridescence and the different colors and stuff that it would be worth a lot, but it's really not. Yeah, so anyway, it's pretty. I like it. I'm glad I picked it up, but it's not worth a fortune. The other pieces that I found 2 pieces of petrified wood. They are not American petrified wood. They're actually marked that they're from Indonesia. So they have a thing on the back. Is that right side up? Yeah. I don't think it's going to focus. It says petrified wood made in Indonesia and then fabriqué en Indonésie in French. So there are 2 different pieces. They have 4 little felt things on the backs. This one only has 3. But there's this one and there's this one. This actually looks more like bone to me, but it is petrified wood according to the sticker. So I paid $2.09 each on these. It was a day where I got 30% off at this particular Savers. So they were $2.09 each, and they sell for $20 to $28. In that range is what the solds are. So that was kind of cool. The piece that blew my socks off when I walked in, this was sitting on a shelf. Okay, I'm gonna see if you see this sticker. You see what this says? You may not be able to see it because it doesn't like to focus. It says Tiffany & Co. And then it says made in Japan. The downside on this is there is a little bit of scratching on the base. It is not 100% pristine. It has been used, and it has the markings of basically a paperweight that has been well loved. So it's got a little bit of scratching on the base. It's got basically just one kind of bigger scratch. It's not huge, but you can feel it with your fingernail. But look at this piece. It's their Prism paperweight. The solds are all over the place, like all over the place. I paid, what did I pay for this guy? I paid $5.59 for him. There's one that sold recently at a private auction. So like one of these auction houses, like an online auction kind of thing. And it sold at auction for $724. That's not normal. That's like one. But somebody got very lucky with their Tiffany paperweight. The eBay, there's a lot of them that sold recently. So the sell-through is really good. One sold on eBay in May. The solds were $150, $100, $95, $106.99, $106.99, and then a $55, a $60, and a $75. So they're kind of all over the place from $55 up to $150. I don't think that $724 anything that we can use as a reasonable comp. But turning $5.59 into even $55 is really amazing. So I think we can get, I don't know, 65, 75. Because of that scratch, I don't think I can ask 100, but it's amazing. And another cool thing, you're probably not going to be able to see it, it glows a little bit. I need to get one of the better flashlights. Like, I saw one listed where it had like this bright green glow. So I put mine in my light box, but made everything dark. And I tried my little itty bitty black light, and there's like the faintest of green glow. Like, it's there, but it's really, really faint. So I'm gonna order a 365 black light and see if I can get more of a glow out of it before I list it. But super exciting find for $5.99, $5.59. Excuse me. One of the other things that I found when I got back was a baggie. Oh, did I leave it upstairs? Oh shoot, it's upstairs. Y'all, I got a baggie that had 2 pieces of glass in it. There was a glass frog and a glass egg, and the baggie together was $4.19. With the baggie, they had stapled it closed at the top with a cardboard thing, so you couldn't see, and it was tight. You couldn't really see much of anything in there. I did see that there was a Bohemian glass marker label on this piece. What I did not see was this giant bruise at the top. Like, it is, you can't feel it with your hand, but it's like somebody dropped it and it shattered inside. So there is a giant, giant visible bruise at the top here, which I don't think this is saleable because of that. I mean, it might be, but not for very much. Certainly I can get a couple bucks out of it, but I was very sad. So I haven't been trying to identify it any more than it says Bohemia Crystal on the side. The frog, however, I posted this morning on the Knickknacks Old Things Thrifters and Pickers Facebook group. If you're not a member, definitely join that, Old Things Thrifters and Pickers on Knickknacks, or by Knickknacks. It's the Facebook group, but what people do a lot there is try to identify things that are more general. So if you have like Murano, I put that in the Murano group. If I have, you know, Italian pottery, that goes into the Italian pottery group. But if I have something that is just a random thing like this, there was a frog that is sitting upstairs by my computer because I was looking at it to compare it to some other photos that people were sending to say, oh, could it be this? Could it be that? So it is a crystal frog, which unfortunately I'm not going to run upstairs right now and grab, but it's just a small little crystal frog, and it's got an interesting marking on the bottom, which as of yet is not deciphered, determined. I'm missing the word here. Identified, there's the word. Anyway, we don't know what it is. So it's a little crystal frog. It's glass frog. But it's marked, and I don't know what the mark is. It's not Baccarat, it's not Steuben. It's not all the things that one would think. So we're trying to figure out what it is. Somebody did post a picture of a clear glass rabbit with the same marking, but they said they also didn't know who made it. So TBD on that. But the fact that I paid $4.19 for 2 pieces, this piece, like I said, even if I sell it for $2, that covers that. And then the other piece is the frog, be at least 10. I think it might be more. This guy, if he didn't have his bruise, there's similars that are listed as high as 50. So I don't know. I think the $4.19 for the both of them was good, and I will at least double my money on that. I'm just not sure by exactly how much yet, and I'm not sure where I'm going to sell them or when. All right, so let's finish up real quick. One more thrift store this week, and I walk in, and this is going to make you laugh because it made me laugh. I have never in my life seen glass stuff. All of a sudden, this past 2 weeks, I found the banana and the grapes and the tomato, and now I've got a radish and a carrot and a pepper. So now I have some glass vegetables. I paid $1.99 for each of these three, the carrot and the radish and the pepper. They're all in fantastic shape. There's no chips or cracks or bruises or issues or anything with them. I don't know the maker. I will try to figure that out, but whatever it is, they sell for about 10 to 12 each, like we've talked about before. So for $1.99, I'm good with that. That's, 10x on those, so yay. All right, so then I got a couple other things to share. This one I haven't quite identified yet. It's a green vase. I picked it up for my rainbow show. There is one listed right now on Knickknacks for $15. There's one listed on eBay for $16. There's one listed on Etsy for $39. They're all exactly the same vase. The Etsy one suggests that it might be Empoli, but when you search on Empoli green vase, you do not get one that looks like this. So I don't know who made it. There are no markings at all, and the other listings don't really say. So I think it's fair to say it's worth $15 to $16 or whatever somebody is willing to pay. I paid $1.99 for it. So I think, again, this was a decent pickup. And then what else did I get? I got two more things. One of them is just really weird. We'll save that one for last. I picked up this little tea bag holder. This is Studio Pottery. It's stamped on the back. I don't know yet who that marking is. And it's got the cutest little illustration of this teapot that just basically says there's a universe to be found in tea. At least that's how I'm interpreting this. So it's basically showing that the steam coming out of the tea is, it opens up the universe. So it's a really cool little thing here. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's very well made. It is ceramic, and I believe it's a tea bag holder. So yeah, there's this guy. And I paid 99 cents for him. And the tea bag holders online, $8 to $12, maybe a little more because it's so unique. But yeah, that's a fun little one. And that will be in one of my Studio Pottery shows that have yet to be scheduled. And then the weirdo that not really weirdo, it's a weird thing that could have been left on the shelf. I bought it because I didn't know what it was. It is a very pretty, what looks like ceramic, it is ceramic sphere. I do know what it is now, and I will tell you. And it was signed. It was signed copyright Berryware. So of course I was intrigued. It was 99 cents, and I figured for 99 cents I would pick it up and try to figure out what it is. So apparently this is a salt and or pepper shaker. There's supposed to be two of them. There are no holes. So this is a unique design, and I've actually seen some people that have posted the original packaging where you can read how to use them and what to do with them. They say that you basically turn it this way and then fill it with salt or pepper. You pour the salt or pepper in there. And then when you turn it back this way, it doesn't say this, but the salt and pepper kind of gather down here. When you turn it back upside down, it goes to the top. And apparently if you shake it, some comes out. I'm not going to try it because once it's in there, there's no way to get it back out other than like this. They say that if it gets water in it, you have to bake it in the oven at 200 degrees for some period of time to get the water back out, and then shake it really hard to break the salt back up. So that's interesting. I have no idea what one can do with one shaker. So I don't know if this has any value. I may try to find the other shaker. I may just hold on to it. I may explain what it is and see if anybody wants it. So again, I paid 99 cents for it. Together, if I had both of them, they're selling around 14 to 16 for the pair. The one is probably worth $4 to $8, maybe, $5, $6, something like that. Not worth a ton. It's pretty. If you just want a pretty decorative sphere, in your house. This is awesome for that. You could use it as a shaker, but yeah, so that's that. I love learning stuff. Every time I go out, I find new stuff and I learn new stuff and I have a blast. So anyway, I forgot one. Ooh, I forgot one. I also found 2 pair of chopsticks. They were also in a baggie. I loved the painting on them, right? And these are new old stock or something like that. These are, I believe, vintage. I don't know what year. I am going to do some asking. The painting on them is really awesome. And it was a set of 2, and they were in a baggie. And the baggie was, where did I find these? Pair of chopsticks. Here it is, $4.19 for the set. They're probably worth about $10 for the 2 together, maybe 12, maybe more. I need to run these by someone to help me identify the maker. But I believe they're wood, and they are painted, and they are cool. So anyway, that was the last thing. So my total spend was a little high because I had all those pieces from the antique mall. So my total spend was $223.65. And again, because the margin is going to be less on those higher end pieces, my total, and this is again estimated low, like with the ranges that I give you, I'm taking the lower number when I calculate the potential value. And I calculated it at $672, so it's 3 times the money. So, you know, I think that with some of the things at the thrift stores, they're going to be 6 to 10 times, and I think the things at the antique mall are 2 to 3 times. But I'm really happy with this this week's haul. I'm really excited for my shows that are coming up. I've got to get a bunch of stuff listed. I'm hoping once those are done, or maybe even this week if I have time, that I'm going to start putting some things up on eBay again, because I am way behind on my eBay listings. The heart stuff will all be listed in hopefully by Tuesday night on Knickknacks, and then for my color show, which will be Saturday, I have Wednesday off of work. I'm hoping to use that to list my color show stuff. Fingers crossed. We'll see. It'll definitely all be listed before the show happens. So when things are listed, the pre-bids are open. So you can just check back, and if you see something there that you like, you can make a pre-bid on it. Yeah, if you have any questions, just holler, mention in the comments, or you can go over to my Facebook, Liz Art Finds, and message me there. Or on Knickknacks. We now have direct messaging on Knickknacks, so you can follow me over at Knickknacks. It's you get over to Knickknacks, and I think it's /Liz Art Finds. I'm not 100% sure. I'll put it in the description. And then once you find me, you can, like, once you're on one of my live shows, you can click follow, and then you should be alerted when I have other shows and stuff. I think that's all. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.